Have you ever wondered what you'd do if you stumbled upon a bag full of cash? I always thought I knew the answer. Turn it in. No hesitation. But when it actually happened to me, the decision wasn't as easy as I'd imagined. It was a Tuesday evening. I was taking my usual shortcut home through the alley behind the grocery store. My arms were full of grocery bags, and I was annoyed because the loaf of bread I bought was already squished under the weight of canned goods. That's when I saw it, a black duffel bag sitting next to the dumpster. At first, I didn't think much of it. People leave junk in alleys all the time, but something about this bag caught my attention. It wasn't old or dirty. It looked new, out of place. I paused, setting my groceries down for a second, and nudged the bag with my foot. It was heavy, really heavy. Curiosity got the better of me. I unzipped it a little, just to peek inside, and that's when I saw it. Stacks of cash, tightly bundled and neatly packed. My heart started racing. This was serious money. I zipped the bag up quickly and looked around. The alley was empty except for a stray cat perched on a fence, staring at me like it knew I was about to make a life-changing decision. For a moment, I thought about leaving it there. After all, it wasn't mine, but the thought of someone else finding it, or worse, whoever it belonged to coming back, made me pick it up and take it home. When I got to my apartment, I dumped the bag on my living room floor and just stared at it. I debated whether to even open it again, but my curiosity won. I counted the money. $50,000. My hands were shaking. That night, I barely slept. The money sat in my closet, taunting me. My mind was racing with questions. Who left it there? Was it stolen? Drug money? Did someone dangerous lose it? And of course, the biggest question, what do I do now? On one hand, I really needed that money. My rent was overdue, I was drowning in credit card debt, and my car was on its last leg. This cash could change everything. On the other hand, it wasn't mine. And if it belonged to someone dangerous, keeping it could put me in serious trouble. The next morning on my way to work, I noticed something that made my stomach drop. A flyer taped to a street lamp near the alley. In big, bold letters, it read, "Lost black duffel bag. Reward $5,000. Call this number." I froze. It had to be the same bag. But the flyer didn't mention the cash, just that the bag was important. Who loses $50,000 and doesn't say a word about it on a missing flyer? Something about it felt off. I snapped a photo of the flyer and spent the day at work distracted, going back and forth about what to do. Should I call the number? Should I go to the police? Should I just keep the money? That evening, I finally worked up the courage to call. A man answered. His voice was calm but firm, like someone who wasn't used to explaining himself. "You found my bag?" he asked, his tone neutral but probing. "Maybe," I replied, trying to sound as cautious as I felt. "Can you tell me what's in it?" There was a pause. Then he said, "Look, I'll give you the reward. No questions asked." The way he avoided answering sent alarm bells ringing in my head. Why wouldn't he mention the cash? It made the whole situation feel even sketchier. I told him I needed time to think and hung up. That night, I decided to go through the bag one more time, hoping to find some kind of clue about its owner. That's when I noticed something I hadn't before, a plain white envelope tucked under one of the stacks of cash. Inside was a handwritten note. It read, "For Emily. This should cover the surgery. I'll see you soon, Dad." My chest tightened. This wasn't just cash. It wasn't drug money or something illegal. It was for someone's medical bills, for a little girl. Suddenly, the decision wasn't just about morality. It was about someone's life. The next day, I called the man back and told him I wanted to meet in a public place. We agreed on a coffee shop. I was nervous the entire time leading up to it. What if he was dangerous? What if I handed over the money and it turned out I'd just helped someone do something terrible? When he arrived, he didn't look anything like what I expected. No suit, no shady vibes. Just an ordinary man in his 50s with tired eyes and a weary expression. He thanked me profusely when I handed over the bag. Before he left, I couldn't stop myself from asking, "It's for your daughter, isn't it, Emily?" He froze for a moment, then nodded. "Yeah, she's sick. Really sick." His voice cracked, and for the first time, he looked like he might cry. He offered me the $5,000 reward, and I accepted it. It wasn't a fortune, but it was enough to cover a month's rent and give me some breathing room. More importantly, it gave me peace of mind. Looking back, I can't believe how close I came to keeping the money. It's scary how easily your morals can waver when life throws you something unexpected. But in the end, I'm glad I did the right thing. So I'll ask you again, what would you do if you found a bag full of cash?